Good morning, everyone. It is Tim Hague Sr. here. My name is Tim Hague Sr. I'm a speaker, author. I have Parkinson's disease, and I'm a PD Avenger. Welcome to Coffee with Tim, a conversation of life and Parkinson's. How's everybody doing today? Yes, it is early. It is 10 to 9 Central Time, and that's way earlier than you ever see me doing Coffee with Tim. But I have managed to book myself, at least 3 things this morning at 10 o'clock, so we bumped this earlier. And if you are joining me, make sure you say hello on the chat. Give us a thumbs up. If you are on YouTube, make sure that you say hello there. Make sure you follow us and subscribe to the channel. That helps us tremendously if you do that. Good morning, Sarah Graffelman King. Love the hat. Well, thank you. So do I. It took Cheryl, my dear wife, many months to learn to love this hat, but now she tolerates it quite nicely. And the statement with the hats are that, you reach a certain age and you start losing some of it, and you get tired of looking at that. And I just like hats, so I started wearing hats. So started wearing hats on here, and it's just kind of stuck. Good morning, Ruth. My goodness, long time no talk to. That's many years ago. We were in school together. Ruth McD there. She and I and my wife went to school together back in 1983. Oh my gosh, that is a long, long time ago. And Heather Wells, good morning. And sorry you missed you last week as well, but glad to have you this week. So yeah, call your friends, have everybody tune in. We're going to talk to a new friend of mine today, Taylor Devlin. She's the new general manager of U-Turn Parkinson's. And so I hope that that's going to be a good conversation for all of you, that you find it interesting what we're doing at U-Turn. Oh, it's back in 81, 82, eh, Ruth? Yeah, it's a long time ago, whether you cut it by a year or two. But nonetheless, before we get off to Taylor, just want to tell you it's been a crazy week. It's been one of those weeks. Here at U-Turn Parkinson's, I had two staff members part-time. Hatha is our program manager and teaches our U-Tunes classes and our singing program. And she was off on holidays. And then, of course, my other staff member and my daughter, Jordana, ended up sick and in hospital. She was in hospital overnight one evening, and then kind of got put together and sent home, and ended up back in hospital last night overnight. And they kept her with a pretty bad infection. And so it's just been crazy this week. If you are the praying type, we'd appreciate a prayer said for Jordana. She's getting better, but is still having a bit of a rough time. And she knows that I'm talking about her here this morning. She said, that's fine, just as an FYI. And it's just made for a nutso week with the new general manager coming on, and me needing to try to download all the stuff that's in this Parky brain to someone else's brain. Well, if you have Parkinson's, you know what that's like to start with, and then throw all this other stuff into the mix. It's been a challenging week to go back to my book, Perseverance, and to look through that again, and to be reminded of the things that we need to do when life is tough. Because life isn't always easy. Just because you're trying to do good things, just because you think you're on the right path, just because you think you're in the right place, doing the right stuff, doesn't mean that it's always going to be easy. So we have to just hunker down sometimes, deal with the hardships that life throws at us, smile anyway, get up, do our jobs, and go about life the way we've been called to, in an attempt to continue to get things right. So if you're having a tough week this week, I hope you are encouraged to persevere, to carry on in your course of action, even in the face of difficulty, even when there's little to no evidence of success. I guarantee you that if you will just stay on your path, if you will continue to persevere, you will experience far more success and joy than you ever imagined otherwise. And yeah, I know it's easier said than done. It's not always fun to just stay on the path and keep slogging away, but that's what we have to do some days. So let's flip over to Taylor. Let's have Taylor come join us, and let's talk about U-Turn Parkinson's and Taylor Devlin. Good morning, Taylor.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you at U-Turn Parkinson's and here on Coffee with Tim. Thanks for coming and joining me.
No problem.
In both instances. So, everybody here knows what U-turn Parkinson's is, or at least they should if they listen to me yak for any amount of time. But that is our wellness center here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. It's our desire to help people live their best, even with Parkinson's disease. We reach out specifically to people with Parkinson's, and our mission is to empower people living with Parkinson's in their pursuit of wellness. We have come to firmly believe that exercise is medicine, and that the number one thing that we can do for anyone living with Parkinson's is to help them live well. Because if we're not living well, we're not going to have advocates to go raise money. We're not going to have advocates to go speak on behalf of Parkinson's. We're not going to have people to do anything if we're not living well. So, long time ago, 5 years ago now, I started U-turn Parkinson's. Hired Hatha after a while, hired Jordana, actually in reverse order. And we're now around to hiring our first general manager. And I'm excited to have you on board because, as I like to joke continually, you're here to help take some of my work. That's always a good thing. So tell us about yourself. I'm going to shut up now for a minute and let you talk. Tell us about yourself.
Sure.
Tell us who you are, where you come from, what you like, what you don't like, where you went to school. Mm-hmm. Are you married? Are you not? Some people will tune in and say, I want to know if she's single or not. And
Absolutely. So yes, my name's Taylor. My background is actually quite fitting for U-turn Parkinson's. So I did a degree in kinesiology. And for those who don't know what kinesiology is, it is exercise science. It is how our body performs, how we make it perform more efficiently, and how we basically set ourselves up for that wellness aspect that U-turn is all about, which is wonderful. As I think I told Tim in my interview, a lot of people really do go into kinesiology going, I want to be a physiotherapist, because they experience physiotherapy in some aspect or whatever that may be. And as I went through my degree, I just went, I would rather be on the other end of this and do more community wellness, prevention, making sure people are well, making sure people are working as efficiently as their bodies can, in whatever aspect that may be, and get ahead of having to be at a physiotherapist if we can, right? Making sure we're well on the front end.
That's really cool. And that is important. And that's an important aspect of what we do at U-turn. Exactly. Because we love our physiotherapists. We love our physio friends. But anytime we can keep somebody out of a doctor's office, out of a physio office, out of a nursing home, out of anything else, the happier we all are, right? So I was super impressed when I ended up with your resume. Like I've told you, we went through so many resumes. We had tons of people from all walks of life throw resumes at us. And I was just about ready to give up. And then, boom, Taylor's resume hit. And I was super impressed. Mm-hmm. So carry on. Tell us some more about yourself.
So we have two things really interestingly in common that I'll touch on. The first one is that I was actually born in Kansas City, Missouri. Happenstance.
You told me that.
Yes. Yeah. So that was an accident on my parents' part. They decided to do this baby moon thing and do one last trip, and didn't quite make it to the trip. So happened to also be dual citizenship, same as Tim, which is quite funny. And grew up in Manitoba, Gimli to be specific, so about an hour north of Winnipeg for those who don't know where Gimli is. And also, interestingly enough, my husband, so yes, I'm married, sorry, everybody. My husband, interestingly enough, decided, we met in university. He decided to keep going with school. He's going to be a forever student. Well, as we thought, he now has a new job, but he wanted to do a PhD program and decided to go out to Fredericton, New Brunswick, which Tim's daughter-in-law also did for school, which is kind of cool. So we have a few things in common.
What's the chances, right?
Just moved back from Fredericton, New Brunswick, back to Manitoba, which is great.
Well, welcome back to the prairies.
Thank you.
God's country.
I'm a little nervous for winter, to be honest.
Oh, come on.
I got soft.
No. You know what I say? I've told you this once. You'll hear me say it 1,000 times. Only the strong. Mm-hmm. Only the strong live in Manitoba. The rest all move to BC. and
Yeah.
we wish them well out there. But
Yeah.
Sarah Graffelman King, what about that? Hey, you giving me the high five on the Kansas City. Sarah grew up in Kansas City as well.
Okay.
Lives down in Texas now. Are you still in Austin, Sarah? I think you probably are still down in Austin. And so that's cool, that commonality. And then the fact that you went out to UNB, where my daughter-in-law went to finish her law degree, that's totally cool as well.
Yeah.
And we
And
have
to
this
touch
passion
on
for Parkinson's.
yeah, and then to touch on UMB, in terms of work experience, school, all of those things, in addition to working for U-Turn, I decided to be really busy and also do my master's degree part-time. So I'm also a UMB student now. It's it's full circle. Yeah.
And I think there's probably something else we have in common about working too much, but
Mm,
we'll leave that for another day.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, it is a pleasure to have you here, like I said, and I'm just so looking forward to the future together and things coming together. So,
Mhm.
what do you see for U-Turn? You're in a whole 5 days now. Well, not even full 5 days. You're into 4 and a bit.
Absolutely.
And so, how are you feeling?
Feeling good.
Don't
Feeling
worry. I
good.
won't tell your boss what you say here. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, no, I think my first few days, it's really just kind of soaking all the information in.
Yeah.
It is kind of taking your brain and trying to insert into my brain and take in as much information and absorb so much the last few days and be able to see kind of where your goals are, where there's opportunities to optimize and
Yeah.
expand and all of those good things just to like really emphasize what we can do for people with Parkinson's.
Well, let's see how good of a job I've done in communicating this week. What are some of those things that you see U-Turn doing for people with Parkinson's?
Well, I think what we've discussed a lot this week is that we do have some really good programs running. We have some best practice stuff, and it's all about getting those people out there, making sure they know about our programs, so that when they come out of hospital being diagnosed, they have a place to go, and friendly faces to see and be able to connect with others who have Parkinson's in a really welcoming environment. And even if maybe exercise is a little scary for them right now, what else do we have to offer? We have U-Tunes, we have the art program, we have our Coffee with Tim vlogs, we have cycling groups, support groups, all of those different things. And just to make sure that we're providing them an option, even if something is a little scary right now, and then we can kind of talk them into some of the other stuff and go, it's really fun, you should join. So I think that's really, really important, is to have a really nice, welcoming space for people, because community is everything.
Yeah. Community is such a huge piece of living with Parkinson's. It tends to, as you know, push us into the shadows, push us into corners. People get very self-conscious, don't necessarily want to be seen in public, don't want to be seen shaking or drooling or stumbling or all of those things. And to have a safe, caring community where they can go to exercise, to talk, to meet people who are like them is so incredibly important. And that has just proven itself over and over again to me over the past 5 years as we've worked with U-Turn. That is just so incredibly important. So yeah, if you are in Manitoba, you can get involved with our singing group, U-Tunes. It's not a choir. You don't have to know how to sing. If you heard me sing, you'd say, you're in that? And I'd say, yeah, I'm in that, because I am willing to make a joyful noise. That is the only criteria to coming to U-Tunes. You need to be willing to make a joyful noise, because singing helps with our voices. It helps us project. It helps us strengthen all the apparatus that goes into speaking and preserves our speaking voice. And while we're preserving our speaking voice, we're preserving our swallowing ability. So many people with Parkinson's often get ill with pneumonia from an inability to just swallow well. And we aspirate. That means stuff goes down into our lungs. And we are doing U-Tunes. We are singing for one reason: to strengthen this, so that we don't have speech and swallowing difficulties. That's why we do U-Tunes. That's why we do our speech therapy with Allison Baird over at Speechworks. And It's fantastic program. So you can get involved in singing, you can get involved in cycling, you can do yoga, you can do boxing, art, all the things that we offer. Go over to our website, uturnparkinsons.org, and you can find out all about it there. All right. What excites you about your journey that you're on with U-Turn now, Taylor?
I think it takes some of my past experience. I've worked for not-for-profit before, I've worked for health authority before, and really kind of pinpoints what I like about it. I like working with people with chronic conditions and finding them resources and just options outside of the actual healthcare system whenever possible.
Awesome.
I like working with people. I'm very much a people person. I'm a little type A like Tim. I like to work hard. So this is an environment that's pretty much made for me, as it turns out. And
Nice.
when I saw the job description, when I read, sorry, about the organization, it really, their mission and their idea of the holistic view of what wellness is really hit home for me. I think it's more than just exercise, even though that is my specialty. It is just a general good quality of life in whatever that looks like for a person. And that's really what drew me to the job. I'm excited to kind of work with people with Parkinson's to hear what they want to have happen and kind of make that the true mission of YouTube of YouTunes of all the programs, but specifically just U-Turn Parkinson's in general. So
Yeah, it's good how I've used so many U's and everything, eh?
Yeah, I know.
Remember
You
and
get
talk.
tongue-tied.
Don't worry, you're not the only one. And people often call us U-turns. It's like U-turns? Where does that come from? No, it's U-turn PD. I don't know where the U-turns come from, but there's too many U's in all of what I've done. But you're absolutely right when it comes to a holistic approach to wellness. I've taught on this lots as I travel and speak, and wellness, we use the 6 spheres of wellness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Physical, obviously important, occupational, how we fill our days, intellectual, challenging our minds, social, getting out, being active, having a community, spiritual, being able to answer the big metaphysical, big questions in life. Why are we here? Why did Parkinson's happen to me? How do I deal with it going forward? And then, of course, the emotional. And we can find answers to all those questions in community as we meet others, as we talk, as we spend time working through and walking through this disease with people like us. And that's why we have put U-Turn Parkinson's on the map.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you see us in 5 years?
Ooh, good question. I think you
That's
have
a
big
tough
dreams.
question for 4 days. Yeah.
You have big dreams, obviously, Tim. And I think the board has big dreams. And I think getting there is just my main job, right? My main job is to figure out how we're getting there. So I see us, again, optimizing the programs we already have, gaining more membership, getting more people to know about our programming is going to be key. And then seeing what else we can offer. Like when we're ready, when we have the capacity and the staff to do it, what other things do we need to have in-house? And speaking of in-house, we want to have our own facility, right? So expanding our space, expanding our service options, making sure people have the information when they're diagnosed, making sure they know about the services available, and hopefully they're accessing our services, and building out that community to be even bigger. And I think a key place that we want to do it is online, making it as accessible as possible so that it doesn't only have to be in Winnipeg people. People can access it online, do our programs and services, and do workshops and all that good stuff from the comfort of their own home too.
Which is a fabulous segue into what is launching today. Empower You. Empower You is our latest and greatest. It's a pretty soft launch, but it's nonetheless launching today. Empower You is our online wellness center. We're starting with one class, an exercise class being taught by Coach Danielle. It'll be on at 11 o'clock Central Time. All you have to do is go to uturnparkinsons.org, Go to the classes button, go down to Empower You, sign up. We'll send you the link for it. It's a live once a week class. It will be taught by Danielle Siemens, one of our coaches. And it is going to be fantastic. You will love Danielle. She is high energy, outgoing, fun. We're going to have a blast. But it is Parkinson's focused, Parkinson's driven, so that no matter what stage of Parkinson's you're in, you can find something in her workouts to help you. So great segue, Taylor. Awesome at the marketing.
Working on it.
But that's one of the things we want to do. Absolutely. We have our centers in Winnipeg. We're going to grow those, but we see across, as I've had the opportunity to travel and speak, I have seen across North America, so many people who have no access to anything Parkinson's specific in exercise. And so we want to be accessible to people everywhere, 24/7, live and in person, live online, and on demand. So you can go to our website and you can find either classes here in Winnipeg that you can attend. You can go to Empower You now every Friday morning at 11 Central and have a live Parkinson's exercise class. Or you can join Coach Jordan on demand anytime that you want with a whole host of classes, exercise classes, strengthening classes, stretching classes, all kinds of things that are available to you on our website on demand 24/7. So that's the goal. That's the hope, to take that, grow it. And if you want to dream really, really big, maybe do in-person real classes outside of Winnipeg one day, beyond Manitoba even. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. One dream at a time. Well, what would you like to leave us with, Taylor? What's your final and last words for the day?
Ooh, good question.
As long as they're not, I quit, I'll be happy with them.
I think really my main goal here is to be able to take some stuff off your plate. You're a really busy guy. I think being able to take a couple things off your plate, make it run as efficiently as possible, and just optimization, and quality of life for people. It's all about quality of life. And it's about quality of life regardless of the pandemic. I think the pandemic made us very aware of where we stood on a scale of quality of life. And I think we were all a little bit evaluative of our lives lately. And I think we can always work hard to just ensure that we're making other people's quality of life better, whether it's family, friends, our community, because of diagnosis, whatever it may be. But it's creating that really good community and quality of life.
That's right. Well, perfect. Well said. Very well said. It is about quality of life. Everyone else's, and then mine. If I can get a little bit of, give a whole bunch of stuff to you, that will drastically improve my quality of life. So I'm looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks, Taylor, again. Thank you for being with us at U-Turn Parkinson's. Thank you for coming and joining me on Coffee with Tim this morning. I look forward to doing many wonderful things together through U-Turn together.
It's going to be great.
All right. We'll talk to you this afternoon.
Sounds good.
Okay. See you shortly.
Bye.
Well, gang, there's Taylor. I'm very, very, very happy to have her on staff. I'm very excited about where we see the future of U-Turn Parkinson's going. And I hope that you will hang with us over time. Thanks, Ruth. I appreciate your comment. Looking forward to seeing where our future takes us. I am too, because I feel like, as I've said many times, you grow where you're planted. Like God didn't give me cancer. I wasn't given ALS. I wasn't given something. I was planted in the Parkinson's path, in the Parkinson's track. So I feel like that's my call. That's my desire and duty now, to work in that and to try to work out my nursing, if you will, to some degree, in helping others living with Parkinson's disease. And so I really do have high hopes and dreams for U-Turn. And if you are local, or even if you're not, U-Turn is a purely nonprofit charity. We don't charge for our programming. We exist purely off of the goodness of those who attend and our community to support us. If you ever want to be a part of that, go to uturnparkinsons.org, drop us a donation, and you'll at least make one brown man extremely happy. So, okay, guys, until next week, have a great weekend. Hug those you love and live your best. Persevere, because this race, your race, can be won as well. I'm Tim Haig. See you next week. Bye-bye.